Now we're mostly doing website development, digital ads online, and everything there about tracking, making sure that everything's tracked and that you're able to see, where people clicked from. So now instead of putting up a billboard on 22, we're running ads in certain zip codes throughout the Lehigh Valley because we know that they're hotspots for clients.
Welcome to YMI Talking, a podcast where the guests are so good, you'll wonder why the host is even talking. In each episode, you will hear one of the leaders of the Lehigh Valley's vibrant business hub. They will tell you the keys to their success, the mistakes they've made, and what they have in store for the future. Here is the host of YMI Talking, from YMI Insurance, Jimmy Honachik.
All right, that is me. I'm Jimmy. And I have an awesome guest lined up today. ET comes from SWBR. They are a local marketing firm. And when I say he is the man, I truly mean that. I've had a lot of great interactions with him, and he's become a good friend. And what they do over there and the energy and the passion that he brings to SWBR is second to none in the Valley. They are top of the world in terms of creativity, in terms of their execution, and I am super lucky to have him here as a guest. So E.T., thank you for coming on. I'm really excited to talk to you.
Thanks, Jimmy. Pumped. Yeah. Absolutely excited.
Yeah. And so my first question is going to be on the name. Do we go Ernie or do we go E.T.?
Let's stick with E.T.
Perfect.
Let's stick with E.T.
Perfect. It's tough, right? In the family dynamic, like you've got your dad there and he's an Ernie. I'm a Jimmy and I've got a Jim, and the world of confusion that creates is crazy. So does ET help you guys separate it?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Even our email addresses are just ridiculous. Because mine, I had to go with my full name, Ernie Thomas Stiegler. So when people were trying to email me, I created a shortcut just so that people could email me and remember it.
That's awesome.
So, yep.
And so you it is a family business, right? It's third family or third generation. Tell me a little bit about SWBR, and then we'll get into sort of the family dynamics of it.
Yep. So my grandfather was a big radio host back in the day. And then he kind of branched out from that, started working with some car dealerships and different local businesses here, and decided he was going to start creating his own ads for the radio and that type of thing, which Stiegler advertising became a thing. And then he kind of got that going. My dad got involved back in the 70s a little bit. And then they've kind of brought other partners in. The name continued to change. Stiegler, and then Stiegler Wells Brunswick, Stiegler Wells Brunswick and Roth. And then
so you guys didn't keep it that?
No. So then we decided to shorten it to SWBR. And we've rebranded since, but keeping the initials for sure. Go ahead.
This sounds like Mad Men to me. I mean, I don't know if you've watched Mad Men at all. I feel like it's required viewing in your industry.
Yes.
But
I'm very sad that I missed some of the times, although I do feel like we are enjoying some of the current times are pretty good too.
You're not having 4 martinis at lunch?
No. Now it's more beers, but yeah, definitely.
So really it passed to your dad and then to you. I mean, how has it been the transition now, I guess, to you, the third generation? You're now the president. You're now running the show. I mean, how has that transfer gone?
It's gone well, I'll say.
Yeah.
I'll say that. It's definitely been interesting though. When I first came into the business about roughly 8 or 9 years ago, came in at the bottom and kind of, was doing this, doing that as an account manager. And, we've just kind of slowly taken over more and more and more as I've gotten here. And now the team that I have is completely brought on by me over the course of a couple of years. And that's basically it. So my dad is still here. He's still our CEO and everything there, but that's it.
Yeah. And that's an interesting transition, right? I mean, going from, I guess, your dad's employees and trying to respect what he's done and what he's built, but also bring your own sort of take to it. How's the give and take between you two been?
Everything's been good. Everything's been good with my dad. When I first started, there was one other managing partner involved, and since he's retired. So once he was retired, it was really my dad and I here just doing this, doing that with our employees, obviously. And then as one client of his left, another one, I would bring one in, and another client of his left, I'd bring another one in. So now we're really here with a good mix of clients that have been with us for a while, and the new ones that I brought in. And then the whole transition of what exactly we do has really shifted.
How so? Tell me about that.
Well, it's really been from like a traditional to a digital sense, right? Like before, we were really big on billboards and TV ads and doing this and doing that. And now everything's shifted to online, right? So we still do some television commercials. We still do some billboards here and there. But now we're mostly doing website development, digital ads online, and everything there about tracking, making sure that everything's tracked and that you're able to see, where people clicked from. So now instead of putting up a billboard on 22, we're running ads in certain zip codes throughout the Lehigh Valley because we know that they're hotspots for clients.
Interesting. And you have the data then to be able to see, like you said, who clicked on it and who's viewing these?
So I will not say that we know that Jimmy Honachik clicked on an ad. I will not say that.
But that a 36-year-old male, maybe father of three from Center Valley, Pennsylvania, who's incredibly good looking, clicked on this.
Yes, we can certainly pick up all the attributes and put them in there. Yes, absolutely.
And so that's got to give, more power almost to your industry in the sense that once you were putting a billboard up and it was relevant to, 10, 15, 20% of the people who drove past it, now you can have an ad that is hyper relevant to the people viewing it, right?
Correct. And that's really helped most of our clients reposition their ad spend. So rather than putting up a billboard on 22 that's going to reach anybody and everybody, now they're able to be more geographically focused with their ads. They're able to be more demographically focused. So if they only want to hit people a certain age, if they only want to hit people that have been to their website, if they only want to hit people in certain geographic parameters, in one neighborhood or another neighborhood, or if they want to do people that have stopped in a local bank branch or something like that, we can absolutely hit those people. So it's very interesting. And from a cost perspective, things have definitely gone down. So rather than running a billboard and where you're stuck to do it for a month at minimum, and the cost there could be anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000, depending on where the billboard is. Now you can run the same campaign for, half the year for that same cost.
Wow. And so, not to get Big Brother or anything, but like you said, I can walk in a bank branch and I know that we have one of, I don't know what they're called, the little Google trackers basically. And so it sort of pings my phone, I guess, and lets Google know, hey, this person visited XYZ, right?
Yeah. So we can actually put a little fence around a location, right? So if you, here in the Lehigh Valley, Dorney Park, a bank, Walmart, if you're trying to reach shoppers, whatever it is, we can just put a little fence around a certain area. And then if a user walks into that area with their phone, then they're targeted. So that's somebody that we're going to hit with ads.
That's very cool. And it changes the dynamic completely. And I guess probably when did you come into the family business?
Back in 2014.
And so I would think during that time period, you've watched the transition happen, right?
Oh, absolutely. I pushed it hard. I pushed it. Yes, I pushed it very, very hard to get us into the website and the digital advertising focus.
And what gave you the confidence that this wasn't just like a fleeting trend, that this was the real deal?
I think that it's just been, I've always grown up, like when I graduated high school, I got a phone, right? We had a phone when you went to school and everything else. And then it's kind of been interesting because when I got my first phone, I did not have internet capabilities, right? Like, so you're on there playing Snake or something like that. You can pick up phone calls. Like,
I used to crush Snake, just so you know.
Yeah. Me and you as well. But so it's been very interesting from my perspective, and I think our age group, because we've kind of been we've seen it both ways, right? So we've seen it where, from an advertising perspective, doing a television commercial, doing a billboard is very effective, right? But then all these digital pieces started coming out, and just like your phones, like I was saying, when I got into, I think it was sophomore year of college, is when I had a phone that could actually like surf the internet and do this and do that. And they've just slowly started to tie pieces together and be able to track things and do this and do things the right way. So it's been very interesting to watch everything go.
Yeah. And so you've decided to follow that trend and reposition the entire company. And with that, you've rebranded yourself, right? So tell me, I guess, the genesis for the rebrand and sort of what it means and where you're trying to position yourself going forward now.
Yep. Well, the biggest thing from the rebrand is just that we're trying to be more digitally focused, right? Like that's our whole premise now. That's everything that we push, everything that we do is all digitally focused. Not that we don't do television and billboard and stuff like that. We do some print ads, we do stuff like that. But the digital medium is really something that we're really good at, from developing websites to doing digital ads and being hyper targeted there. That's something that we really push. And from the rebrand point, although it took a little bit longer than we had expected, I'll say. So from an advertising world, you always have new projects coming in, new things going on. So we had started, it took us about 2 years to get our website live, which is terrible because for most clients, we can have a website live 3 months, maybe.
But you take care of everyone else and you kind of forget about yourself sometimes, right?
We do. So it was every 3 months we'd go through cycles where we'd get on something, we design something, then we'd get busy with something else, and then we'd jump back on it, look at it, change everything, do this, do that. So it's been a process, but we're happy to be live now. We have everything, new website, new cards, everything out there. And I think we just wanted to bring more energy and excitement to the brand.
Yeah. Yeah. And so before this, I went on the website for the first time. It's great. It looks good. Is that like a big part of what you guys do, websites, or is it more advertising, or do you bring the whole package?
No, we definitely do everything. So we've worked with brands that we've just built their website for them. They've come to us with a website that needed to be refreshed, redone. We've rebranded companies completely where they came in and they were either bought out or merged into another company, whatever the case is. And we've had to come up with the name even of certain companies.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do website development, we do billboards, we do television commercials, we do digital advertising, everything from Facebook to your Google ads.
Yeah. So Google is on my list of things to talk about, and it's such a sprawling topic. I don't even know where to start. But is it the most powerful platform that you guys work with?
I will say yes, absolutely. For reaching people, absolutely.
Yeah.
From an internet standpoint, yes, you're reaching over 80% of all internet users are on Google.
And it changes all the time, right? Like that was something I didn't appreciate when I came into the business. I was like, we're going to be digitally focused and I'm going to be able to do this. And then I was like, it's a full-time job to keep up with Google. And so you guys do that, right? Like you guys are up to date. You guys have, I think you said, regular calls with Google.
We do. Yeah, we do. We have weekly calls with our Google Ads specialist, and they really handle everything that we could possibly do. So everything from a Google standpoint, they're constantly updating, and it is an absolute pain to try to get in there and work with them. Even with the Google search ads, they're constantly trying to tweak things, how you do this, how you do that. Going up and setting campaigns, they're changing parameters. So where we could use zip codes at one point, then you can't use zip codes, or within 20 miles, you have to use a radius versus a zip code. And it's just constant changing.
Yeah.
But it's normally for the better. It is.
And so how many staff members do you guys have to be able to offer all of these services?
Yep. So we have 16 total
Wow.
right now, full time. And then we have several developers as well that are all on I'll call them freelance. They're freelance developers, but they're all with us on a monthly basis, always working on something. We have retainers with all of them set up so that they're there for us when we need them.
Yeah. And I think a really important part of being a business owner is that not only the culture that you're building, but sort of the community impact that you're having. How do you think about that as president, building out that culture and what it means to the community at whole?
Well, it's always changing here. I can tell you that. And COVID had a big piece of that. We were previously at a larger facility over in Bethlehem. And it was kind of different. Like everybody was in the office every day. This is what we were doing. Everybody had an office. And then COVID happened, shut everything down real quick. And for that first year, we were kind of like, what do we want to do here? Blah, blah, blah. Everybody was working from home. We're all set up in the Google Cloud. So we have Google Meet and everything else there. And that was perfect timing switching over to Google because we were all in Outlook and everybody was in the Outlook system, right? So this was before Microsoft Teams was out and everything else, and nothing was truly available to have a remote workforce, right? So we had made that shift. COVID was 2020, so it was 2021 when we had fully shifted. Everything was capable within Google. And then we had, I'm sorry, no. It was 2020 when we shifted to Google because then was it February, March when the everything shut down, right?
Yeah, yep.
Wasn't it? Yeah, so it was 2020. We had just launched in Google
Wow.
that January. I think we launched it December before that. But that January, we launched everything in Google and really just blew everything out of the water from where we were. It was like we were coming out of the dark ages, honestly. It was. Everything was so much better. And shared drives, everything was just incredible to share. Anything that you're working on, materials, websites, anything that you're working on, it was so much easier. And then everybody was working from home. Obviously, in March, we were stuck at home and everybody kind of continued that. I think that there was a push or more people were reluctant to come back to the office, right? So we wound up selling our building over in Bethlehem. We bought the building we're currently in right on Main Street in Bethlehem, which is nice.
Yeah, can I pause there for a second?
You can.
It's the coolest. Like my favorite experience this Christmas was I'm shopping up and down Main Street, which was picked by Hallmark for like live streaming because yeah. And so
right down from our building, by the way, it was right up. I was just waiting for the sign to go up just so that we could be on the stream the whole time. But yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, and it feels that way. It feels magical. And there is SWBR sign, which is super cool also. And so I'm like, I'm going to stop it and see ET. And so I hop up. And your building is really cool. So I'm super jealous, obviously, of what you guys have going on there. You get to the third floor where you guys are, and just tell everyone quickly about the layout. I think it's really cool.
Yep. So we bought it's a row building, really. It's in the middle of Bethlehem, right here on Main Street. And the first floor is rented out. We rent the building out to a retail store. And then the second floor we've turned into an Airbnb. Mm-hmm. Which has been going really well.
Yeah.
And then the third floor is our offices. So we kind of don't like the climb up because there's only stairs here. It's an older building. Mm-hmm. But it keeps you in shape. And the view from the third floor is definitely better than the second floor. So we had to move the office up here.
And what was
awesome.
What was the logic behind moving to downtown? I know we've touched on it before, but what exactly was it about the downtown that brought you there?
It's just busier,
yeah.
Right? Like we were in another building where it was in a commercial, kind of area where you focus on. There's no place to really walk. You can't do this. You can't do that. The building was bigger, yes, but here, right on Main Street in Bethlehem, is awesome. You can walk down, go to a restaurant for lunch. You can go have drinks after work. You can meet clients here. I mean, all of our clients love coming here because of where it is, basically. And it's a pretty cool facility. It really is.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
And so talk about that some more. Bethlehem, like you guys are, I know you are very involved locally. What are some of the things that you do besides being in the hub of Bethlehem, but that you do to connect with the community and get SWBR out there?
Yep. Well, I'm currently on the board of the Bethlehem Chamber. So, and it's just the chamber here, the local chamber. And we do all types of events. We have a golf outing coming up in August, I believe it is. So I'm on that chair. I'm on the committee, I guess it is, for that. Where we plan it out. We decide which golf course we're going to hold it at. We do this, we do that. We decide how much sponsorships are going to be, what we're going to do. And then we're also involved in recruiting other companies to join and play and do this and do that for the community. And then I'm also on a board of Touchstone Theater, which is right here in Bethlehem. Now they're on the south side, we're on the north side. But it's a really cool theater. They do all their own works. It's really neat. It's truly interesting.
They do the Follies every Christmas, right?
They do.
Yeah.
They do the Follies every Christmas. That's a lot of fun. And they're awesome people. They're really good people. An awesome place. And then I'm also on the board of Bloom, a sex trafficking organization that I joined earlier this year. And they're doing some really important work, have some really cool things going on. But love being a part of it. I love joining anybody that I can and helping any organization out that I can.
And what drives you to do that? It's, some people are just happy to go to work and do that and call it a day, but you're out there improving, right? Improving where we live and making our communities better. What makes you want to do that? What drives you?
I think it's just tying everything in, right? Like, we're part of Bethlehem. So as an organization, to be a part of something, you have to help out the area around you, right? And the Bethlehem Chamber certainly does that. I mean, they're trying to get every company in Bethlehem involved with their golf outings and different things, and keep them involved with Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber and their events and everything else, which I know you were just at the Snowball.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
That was a lot of fun. They did a good job there.
Yeah. And then Touchstone Theater is just an awesome little theater that I think does not get enough press out there as much as they can.
Yeah.
And I'm all about helping them reach new people.
Yeah.
They're great. So it's fun to be a part of organizations that truly help the community around you and do that.
So you keep bringing up this golf tournament, and I know that you play golf. There's an insurance golf outing that you went to that I also went to. You were not on my team, and I believe you were a large part of why that team did so well. How often do you get out? Are you a big golfer?
I don't know that we did so well. I think we came in one position above you guys, right?
which was my team carrying me.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like to golf.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
That's good. It's something I need to do more. Everyone talks about it. I just get out once a year.
It's good. It's good to get away, right?
You're kind of like, you golf and you played baseball in college as well, right?
I did.
So athletics are sort of in your blood, or at least a part of who you are in your DNA. Do you see crossover between that world and the business world?
Absolutely. I mean, there's certainly crossover. I think just the competitive nature, right? Like sports. So I was a big baseball player through high school and college. And
you were captain of your team in college, right?
I was.
Yeah. So yes, I would say a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just the competitive side of you, right? Like, you want to get better. You want to do better. You hate losing, right? That's what it is. And golf honestly brings out the best of that. I think it's an awesome sport because you're never really comparing yourself to anybody else. You always want to beat the guy you're playing against, right?
Right.
But with handicaps and everything else, it's really about making yourself better and to be the best that you can. And it's fun.
That's something I didn't appreciate. So my son, my 5-year-old, was like, I want to wrestle. And I was like, I don't know anything about wrestling, but go for it, buddy. And then he's there and I'm watching him, and I had grown up really only doing team sports.
Yep.
And I realized, like, in a team sport, you can sort of blend in, right? And you do as well as the team or as poorly as the team. But when it's that individual sport, like, the buck stops there. And so it's this level of accountability that team sports don't necessarily offer.
Yeah, that's for sure. 100%. And, I mean, baseball, I think, is a little bit different. I have a love for the game. And I don't agree with some of the rules they're coming out with, but to speed up the game and that kind of thing, why you play baseball?
Yeah.
It's the one game that does not have a clock on it, right? So why should we put a clock on the game? But I think that in baseball specifically, I think that there's some players that you can see a little bit of a downside for. So you can have a weaker hitter and you're, in center field or something like that. But I think that it's very individually focused. So you're always you're kind of highlighted there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I know we're running up against time. There's 2 questions I want to hit related to SWBR. And then I got one fun one. So talk to me about challenges that you guys are seeing right now. I know it's very digitally driven. That's sort of the focus. What challenges do you guys run up against?
Well, the one challenge that I will say, and I'm happy to make this public, just because you click on an ad does not mean we know exactly who you are.
Right.
It does not work that way. All of our clients, when they first start digitally, they're thinking that they're going to know that Ernie Stiegler clicked on an ad, came to their website, did this. We do not know that. You do not know.
And so you got to work with your best guesstimate, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, individually, you cannot tell who specifically is clicking. I mean, you can track IP addresses, you can do a whole bunch of things, but you cannot tell that this person specifically clicked on the ad.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
And then what does the future hold for you guys? What do you guys see in the future? Now you've rebranded. It seems like you're ready to go. So what's next for you?
We got a bunch of exciting things here. I'm truly excited for the future. We have a bunch of new clients coming on board. We have several new website projects kicking on. I'm excited to see what's coming up. And we have something we're kind of kicking around and getting going here that I'm excited about. So we got quite a few things. I'm not going to share anything publicly, but we got some things we're excited about.
Did you just know I was going to ask that and decided to cut me off? I was smart.
No, I think it's a natural question. Uh-huh. It's a natural question, right? But I think that we're excited.
No, that's good. And it's nice, like having the rebrand behind you. Like you said, you can't always give it your full attention. So now that that's behind you, you can focus on more big picture things, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. And adding to the website, we have many case studies we want to put on there of new clients, lots of things that we've been doing. So there's a lot to add to the new site about what we're currently doing now.
That's great. All right. So then last but not least, Notch Modern Kitchen is one of our sponsors. They do an awesome custom cocktail. Like you can go in there and sort of tell them what liquor you like and then what sort of mood you're in, and they make it for you. And so we like to kick it up a notch here. So it's the end of the week. You kept trying to get, someone's website live, whatever you're doing, and you can finally kick back and relax. What are you reaching for? What are you grabbing as a drink for the end of the week?
I'm definitely going with a Miller Lite first thing. As soon as I open the garage door, I'm going cracking open a Miller Lite. Crown Royal, then probably kicking it in.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Favorite. That's my favorite. Just straight on there, and I have a special little ice maker that makes them round. Perfectly round. Yes.
Oh, that's very cool. And
it.
Pour yourself one. Like I didn't even bring this up. You're expecting a second child, right?
We are in June. Yep.
And you are not finding out the gender.
No, I did. I caved in. I did. It was terrible. I did.
I couldn't do that. I don't know how people can do that. So what are you guys having?
Another girl.
Oh, that's awesome.
Father of 2 girls.
I've only got one, so I have no advice to give you here. I'm just going to wish you a lot of luck.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things go.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting for you guys. It's an exciting time. You got the rebrand, the family's growing. I'm really happy for you.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's great to have you on here. It's great to talk business with you as always.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the YMI Talking Podcast. If you enjoyed this and want to hear more content from amazing personalities in the Valley, please subscribe, leave a rating, and drop us a quick review.